To week number 49 of Scott's Weekend Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. The World Cup is starting on Thursday, so me and my dad are here today to pick our World Cup predictions. And the two teams we think will come out of each group and who we think is going to win the World Cup. So right into the predictions we go. First off, we have Group A, who has the host nation Russia as the one. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Uruguay join the host nation of Russia. And for me, I think this is Uruguay's group to lose. Sergio Aguero is one of the best players in soccer, and they have one of the best teams in the tournament. So I'm going to take Uruguay to come out on top of this group. And I think that Egypt is going to come in as the second qualifier. Mohamed Salah has improved tremendously. We saw him play in Liverpool last year. He right now, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 soccer players in the world. So I'm going to take Uruguay and Egypt to come in the top 2 in this group and unfortunately eliminate the host nation Russia before they get into the round of 16.
I agree with Scott that Uruguay is going to come out on top of this group. They're clearly the class of this group. And under normal circumstances, if it was in any other country other than Russia, I would pick Egypt as my number 2 team. But I got to think that the Russians are going to pay the refs off. It's in their host country. It'd be embarrassing for them not to advance. Somehow the refs are going to screw Egypt, and Russia's going to be your second team.
Into Group B we go. One of the easiest groups to pick. In this group, we have Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and Iran. This is the easiest group to pick. In my opinion, I think a dog can make this selection. This is easy. Spain and Portugal will be your 2 qualifiers. But I'm going to take the better team more than the better player in this group. So I'm going to take Spain because they have the better team, even though Ronaldo is probably the best player in this tournament. But I'm going to take Spain to finish up top in this group. Now I think Ronaldo and Portugal will come in second, and they will move on to the round of 16 as well.
Since Scott said that a dog would pick Spain and Portugal, I feel like I've got to pick Spain and Portugal. I don't want to be compared unfavorably to a dog. So I'm going to pick Spain as my number 1, Portugal as my number 2. I agree with Scott, this is an easy group to pick.
Next up, Group C. This is kind of a tough one to pick because you don't know who that second team is going to be in this group. So in this group, you have France, Australia, Peru, and Denmark. 4 teams that some people are thinking could do pretty well. So I definitely think France is finishing up top in this group. I feel like France has one of the best teams in the tournament, even though they are leaving some of their best players off the roster. But I feel like they still have a very good team, and I feel like they will easily win this group. And then the second team I have moving on is Peru. I think Peru is a very good team. They have some good players that they can work with. So I think the Peruvian national team will find a way to get out of Group C barely and get into the round of 16.
I agree with Scott on France. I think France is the class of this group. It was really tough. It was a tough pick for me as to who's going to come out second, but I actually think Denmark is going to come out as the second team coming out of this group. So I've got France as number 1 and Denmark as the number 2 qualifier.
In Group D, you have one of the best players in the entire world in this group, in Lionel Messi and his Argentinian squad. You also have Iceland, Croatia, and Nigeria in this group as well. So I'm going to take, of course, Argentina to come up top in this group. Probably the last chance that Lionel Messi has to win a World Cup for Argentina based on his age and everything like that. And I think Croatia will come in second place. This team has some good talent, and I feel like they will do just enough to get out of this group. So I'm going to take Croatia to come in second place in this group. So I have Argentina up top and Croatia in second coming out of Group D.
I agree 100%. I've got Argentina number 1, Croatia number 2. Argentina, obviously one of the best soccer teams in the world. After that, it drops off pretty big with Croatia, but I think they will emerge as the number 2 team coming out of this group.
Into Group E, you have one of the favorites to win the tournament in Neymar and Brazil. This Brazilian national team is going to be pissed off after what happened 4 years ago when they got absolutely embarrassed in their home country in a 7-1 loss against Germany back in 2014. And then you also have Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Peru over here in this group. So I'm going to take Brazil to, of course, finish up top. This team is too good. Even though they are without one of their top defenders, I still feel like this team is good enough to win this group. And then I'm going to take Switzerland. I feel like the Swiss have a good team this year, even though I could see Costa Rica also getting out of this group. But I'm going to take the Swiss to get out of this group. I feel like the Swiss have a good team this year. So I'm going to take Switzerland to come in second place in this group and get into the round of 16 with Brazil finishing up top.
I also like Brazil coming out of this group, and I also think Brazil is one of the top 4 teams in the World Cup. But I'm actually going to take Croatia over Switzerland. It was a close call for me, but I think Croatia's just a little bit better than Switzerland. I like Croatia coming out as the second team out of Group E.
Next up in Group F, you have the reigning, defending World Cup champion in Germany in Group F. You also have Mexico, Sweden, and Korea in this group. Some people have been calling this the group of death, and I definitely think it is. These are 4 teams we see in the tournament basically every year. But I think Mexico finally gets over the hump this year. They get in as the second seed in this group. I think Marco Reus and this German squad is just too much. Germany's going to win the group, in my opinion, and I think Mexico finally gets out of their group this year, and they get in as the second seed in the group.
I agree 100%. I think Germany is one of the top 4 teams in the world. Germany gets through fairly easily, and I think Mexico will break through. Mexico is much improved over their team in 2014, so I have Mexico coming out as the second team in this group.
Next up, coming into Group H, the Belgians are in this group, along with Panama, Tunisia, and England are also in this group. I think it's pretty easy for me based on talent-wise. I feel like this group is pretty easy. So I'm going to take Belgium to finish up top. I feel like the Belgians are a very good team. Dion Fellaini's had a very nice tournament, and that hair is absolutely phenomenal. He has some of the best hair in the tournament. So I'm going to take Belgium to come up top, just because they eliminated the U.S. in 2014 out of the group, out of the knockout stage. But I also think England's getting out of this group. I know a lot of people are saying this is not England's year. They're about 4 years away from being a top team. But I feel like this year they get out of the group. Harry Kane's going to play very, very well. I feel like he has been one of the best players to watch in the Premier League. So I'm going to take Harry Kane and England to come out of Group G in second place. So it's Belgium up top and England following them in my opinion, in Group G.
I've got the exact same 2 that Scott have. I think those are the 2 teams that emerge from this group.
Next up, Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan round out the group in Group H. I'm going to take Poland. I think Robert Lewandowski is going to play very, very well. I think he is probably one of the best players in this tournament. Just feed him the ball and he'll score. I think Poland will win this group pretty easily. And then the tough one for me is coming out of this second side, because I'm stuck between Japan and Colombia. Because Sadio Mane is over there in Colombia, who played very, very well for Liverpool last year. Was kind of a little bit underestimated last year in Liverpool after what happened with one of their best players last year down there in Egypt. So I feel like Colombia probably will get out of this group with James Rodriguez and Sadio Mane. I feel like this Colombian team's a little bit too good for the Japanese right now, so I'm going to take Colombia to finish in the second spot in this group. So I'm going to take Poland and Colombia to come out of this group.
I'm going to pick, this is the first one that Scott and I picked differently on the first team coming out. I actually have Colombia coming out as the number 1 team in this group, and I don't have Poland going through at all. I think it's going to be Senegal as the number two team. But this is probably the hardest group, I think, to pick the 2 teams.
Yeah, this could actually be the group of death, because you don't really have a clear-cut favorite in this group.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of teams that could do it. We just don't know which teams are going to come out and play well in Russia, so we'll see.
About parity.
Yep. Now on to the final 4 predictions. For me, it's going to be Brazil. I just feel like they need this a lot more than a lot of other teams do. Brazil's looking to bounce back after a tough finish in 2014 in the semifinals. I have Spain with Andres Iniesta. I feel like Iniesta's been playing very, very well. Like I said, this is a very balanced team. You don't really know who to worry about on this team because it's so balanced. And a very good team over there for Spain. Also, I'm going to take Germany. I feel like the defending champions are going to try and do it again this year after a great run in 2014. So I feel like Germany will get into the top four. And then I also think Argentina with Lionel Messi and company are going to get through. I feel like Lionel Messi could be in his final World Cup here in 2018 because he'll be like 50 in 2022. So I doubt that he'll be there in 2022. But I'm going to take Argentina to get out of this, get out of the round of 16 and the round of 8 to get into the final four.
My picks are pretty close to Scott. We have one difference. I've got Germany getting to the final four. Scott does. I've got Brazil getting there as well. I've got Spain. As much as Argentina would be a great story, and I'd love to see Messi win the World Cup, I think they're going to fall short. And I've got France being my final four participant. So those are my final four in this year's World Cup.
And now for my championship game, I'm going to go with Spain. I'm going to go with actually Brazil and Germany. Brazil and Germany are probably going to meet up again in the World Cup final. I just feel like this needs to happen after what happened in 2014. So I'm going to take Brazil and Germany to come out of your Final Four winners and go on to the World Cup final.
And I actually have the exact same two going on to the World Cup final as well. I think to the two best soccer teams in the world, and they will meet in the final.
And then for me, it's Germany winning it again. I feel like this team is very, very good. The only thing I could seeing them lose a little bit with is goalie. Because Marco Neuer was not 100% all year over in England or wherever he played last season. But I think Marco Neuer could actually be 100% ready to go in this tournament. Because if you have a good goalie in this tournament, you have a good chance. So I'm going to take Germany to win the World Cup once again. For my buddy Riley Carey, I feel like Germany's going to win this thing. And free schnitzel for everybody.
Unfortunately, I think the schnitzel's going to be costly and not free because Germany's going to lose this year. I think Brazil's had 4 years to stew on what happened to them 4 years ago. That country is a very proud country for soccer. I think they are going to come back and they're going to win against Germany and get that monkey off the back. And Brazil is going to be your World Cup champion.
And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Week in Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back with week number 50 next week.
Whoa.
Can you believe it? 50 weeks of Scott's Week in Sports. And I'll be doing my Money in the Bank and NXT TakeOver Chicago predictions. I believe that'll be next Friday, right here on Scott's Week in Sports. As always, like, subscribe, comment, and share on the videos. And I will see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Week in Sports right here on YouTube. See you later, guys.
See you guys.